everyone. I was about to say Friday. Happy Thursday, everyone. Yes, so today is like the day before or the day of another winter storm. It's supposed to be raining, which rain has not started yet. It's just cloudy. It's supposed to be rain and then turn to ice and then turn to snow. And we're supposed to get that today, tomorrow, but it's only supposed to be like an inch for our area in North Carolina. But yes, so we are prepared already. We don't need anything. The only thing that we don't like about this weekend in particular is our oldest is turning 13. So we had a big celebration planned for her and we had to postpone it due to the weather. And so that was a bummer. Her birthday is Saturday. So we're gonna still celebrate, but just not being able to do the things that she really wanted to do until a later date because of the weather. So that's the only downfall. There has not been, when she was born, the week before she was born, because my due date was the 20th, yeah. It was actually the inauguration day. I remember like yesterday. And my due date was the 20th and there was no progression at all. I was still a 2, still just closed up, and cervix was softening a little bit, but she was head down, and I had been stripped weeks prior to the birth. And so I was so excited thinking that, you know, I was going to have this baby before I even had lost my mucus plug once I got stripped, everything, and there was just still nothing. And so my family had even come in town and we were getting prepared for her to be born. But the week prior to that, it had snowed. So we were just kind of afraid, like, are we going to have this baby early and it's like in a snowstorm? But of course, that was pretty much like my second December, well, my second January being in North Carolina, because I came from Georgia. I'm from Georgia, so we never really got snow. Every blue moon, and if it was nothing that was major. So I ended up and was just so sad because my parents were just like, well, if the doctor says that we're just going to let it run its course and you don't have to technically have this baby until 42 weeks, you're not late, then we'll just come back once everything changes. And so I was just like, are you serious? It was just so sad. And so there was snow and stuff still on the ground, frigid temperatures. You know how January is not December, but frigid temperatures in January, the end of January. And we were just like, I was so sad. And so I ended up going to another appointment because I was past my due date at this point. They wanted to see me just to check my fluid levels. And of course, my fluid levels were low. So they had told me, if you do not go in on your own by Sunday, we're going to induce you. Well, that was that was Tuesday afternoon. What is that on my floor? A cone? Sorry. A cone and a cord. I was just like, is that a snake? It's not. But I was just like, you know, kind of sad because I was just thinking like, I'm never going to have this baby. That's how I felt. After trying so many things, walking and eating spicy food, you know, everything that they tell you to do when you're, you know, thinking that you're going to have a vaginal birth. And so my husband, he had took off work. I remember he took off and he wanted to surprise me. He was like, you know, because you were just laying in bed, you're not even getting out, you're not even doing anything. And I'm just like, no, because I'm ready to have this baby. I'm miserable. I'm depressed. I'm just sick of it. And so he took off and he said, we are going out on the town and we are going to the mall and we're going to walk. And at this point in 2009, you know, malls around were still very, very just popping. And there wasn't really, you know, a lot of crime and stuff going on. Yeah, so we just went to the mall and he had me walking, y'all. It seemed like every step I took, I was contracting. And because I did not know, I didn't take like a birthing class. We went for a tour at the hospital. We did all of that stuff, but I just, you know, I didn't know what to expect. But then I knew what to expect, I guess. I don't know. But long story short, I ended up that Wednesday just hurting all Wednesday. Guys, I had to stop the camera. I was just like, oh, I need a seat. So somebody's bringing me a seat. I was trying to get myself situated in my bathroom, get my hair done so we can leave out. But like I was saying, I won't be showing nothing. Ended up and I was hurting all Wednesday, but I just had this burst of energy that just came from nowhere. I was just like, what in the world? And I didn't know what it was at all. It was just like, y'all, when I tell you I could have walked, I could have done a marathon. Probably nothing more than like a 5K. Or I would have been, Aubrey, can you bring in my chair too? Nothing more than like a 5K. I'm not gonna go higher than that. But girls, I'm getting ready to do your hair. I'm getting ready to do my girl's hair. And so I had just had this burst of energy, and I remember, thank you, Aubrey. Okay. Yeah, I had this burst of energy, and I remember just feeling like, hey, I'm gonna clean up. I need to clean up. And so when I tell y'all, I was deep cleaning every inch of the house. Every inch. It was spotless. And at that time, we only had because it was just me and him, we had just like a duplex apartment, really nice. It was 2 bedrooms, 1 bath. Open floor plan, very nice. Mama, 1 level. A what? No, blow the candle out. No, you don't. The candle's not lit. You blew it out already. And so it was a Wednesday night. We had, of course, service, cleaned the house, went to service, we took a shower, went to Wednesday night service. I was fine just sitting there, just still having what I considered was Braxton Hicks, nothing, but they were very, very painful, very painful. And so I remember we left, and I didn't cook dinner that night. My husband was like, what do you want to eat? And I remember, y'all, the meal and everything. We ate Wendy's, and I had a triple. Why did I get a triple? I don't even know. That's like, I don't even know. I was feeling just so energized and so hungry and just so relaxed, and did not realize that my body was preparing for this birth of this baby. And so we got the food, and I took a couple of bites, and I was stuffed, and we ended up, we were just laughing and talking, and we were laying in bed watching a budgeting movie that we rented from the library at that time. We were watching that, and I just heard, I just heard a loud pop. And when I tell y'all it was a loud pop, me and my husband both looked at each other and was like, what was that? I looked down, y'all, and my water had broke. But because my fluid levels were low, it was just like, and I know this is just so much information to all my mamas out there that has had a vaginal birth, it was just not a pretty sight at all. And I was definitely not expecting to do that, in my bed. And so I said, my water broke. And right after that, I had just an excitement that took over. And it was like almost midnight. It was late. An excitement took over because I still had all that energy still in me. I could not sleep. And we were both excited, and I said, oh, I need to go poop. And he said, what? And I said, I need to go poop. Poop? We need to go to the hospital. I said, no, because so many women have told me that they have been in labor and they have pooped on themselves. And I know, and I was just all over the place, but I did go, and I took a shower. And finally, he was just waiting. He said, we need to go because you are not having this baby. We had to drive to another city, which is about 30 minutes away. And he said, you are not having this baby in this car. You need to, and I was calling my parents. My parents were asleep. And I said, my water broke, I'm on the way to the hospital. And so they said, well, it's late. We'll get up in the morning, early in the morning, and, come to you guys. And that was about 6.5 hours, 6.5 hour drive. So I was nervous at that point. I was scared because I had my husband there, but I wanted my family to be there. I wanted my mom to be there, my dad to be there as that extra support, prayer, all of that. And so we got to the hospital and they took me back and they said, you definitely are in labor. They checked to make sure there was no meconium or anything. Everything looked good. And you guys, that was midnight. They said, oh, your contractions are so strong, it's causing the baby's heart rate to drop. And so because I did not know anything about that, they suggested me to go ahead and get an epidural. And I was like, okay, yes. And so I did. The anesthesiologist came in, done the epidural. Everything went numb. Mentally, I was just like, I do not like this feeling, because I've always liked to be in control, which anybody wants to be in control of their body, no doubt about that. But it was just it was something that I had been put to sleep prior to different surgeries growing up, and I would not feel anything. You just breathe in and you sleep, for little things like that. But there was nothing at all that I was expecting with this. And so the clock just kept ticking and time just kept changing. And I look up at the clock and they would come in and check me, have me to switch. What's wrong? They would have the clock was ticking, and the nurse, she was so sweet. She came in and she was checking me, and she was just like, Mom, I need you to turn on your left side because baby's heart rate is still dropping. And I'm like, okay, when is the progress gonna get started? They had doctors would come in and he was just like, I'm gonna use a balloon and blow everything up. I want to add some fluid, and your fluid level is low, you're not progressing. We're gonna give you some Pitocin. They were giving me everything, but my body was not progressing. It was not going anywhere. And so this was January 22nd. At this point, that was Wednesday, was the 21st. Thank you. They don't need to see that. And by this time, no, sir, no. By this time, it was just, I was really nervous because I'm like, this is not what I was expecting to happen. But of course, I didn't know what to expect because I had never had a baby before, and so it was different, but the staff was amazing. But at this point, I was just sleeping a lot. And I remember waking up and just feeling like a mess, if that makes any sense. And so by noon, a doctor came in, which a doctor I was familiar with at the practice that I was going to. I had only seen her a couple of times, but because I was having a vaginal birth, there was no guarantee that I was going to, of course, have my doctor of choice. And so she came in and she checked me and she said, yeah, you're not progressing. You're still a 2. And she said, and because the fluid level is low, the baby is getting in distress. And then you can develop an infection. The baby can develop an infection, and we don't want that. And so I'm like, okay, so what are you saying you're going to do? Like, I'm thinking, can't send me home. I didn't know. So she said, we're going to have to do a C-section. And I was like, no. And she said, yes. And I said, no. I was just young and naive. And I was like, I don't want to do that. She said, I know you don't want to do it, but you want a healthy baby, and the baby needs a healthy mama. And so she said, we are prepping the OR for you right now, and we're going to get this baby out. And so I said, well, can I at least, do I have time to think about it? Do I have time to call my family? She said, you can call them and tell them what you're about to do, but no, we're doing this C-section. And so I was just like, oh, okay. So I called my mom and I was in tears and I said, I'm having to have a C-section. And they were on the way, and she said, what? And all of them got sad, and just that's when they really got nervous, because my mom was like, I didn't want my child to have to go in surgery. My sisters didn't want it. We were all scared. They were all scared going in surgery, and we're not there, you know, to pray over them. And then, of course, my mom and my dad and my family, my husband put the phone on speaker, and they prayed. And, of course, they took me on back, and she was born at 12:30 p.m., January 22nd. So she was healthy, 6 pounds, 2 ounces. Everything went great. No infections, nothing. So the hand of the Lord was upon me. It was just a different experience. And that was the start of my birth stories. And that's the end of that. It will continue another video. I just wanted to tell you guys, leading up to 13 years ago, what the joy that came into our life, and still is such a joy. And so she said that she wants to go to Olive Garden. So hopefully, with all this weather and stuff going on, if we can't go sit inside, we can at least do takeout, because I'm not hearing a lot of, you know, what we heard last week, or what we experienced last week. So we'll see. But if not, if things get worse between today is Thursday, between tomorrow, we will do Olive Garden here. Yeah, I will be Mama Chef, Olive Garden, do it up. And then when the weather comes back out beautiful and everything clears, we'll take her to Olive Garden. And like I said, we will definitely celebrate her birthday, and I will show you guys some of that in the video on Saturday. But today we are just waiting for anticipating another storm. Like I said, we don't need anything from the grocery store. We were fully stocked last week when my husband and I did the grocery haul. He did the grocery haul mostly because he went out days before. But today we're just going to be low key and do schoolwork and just get prepared for the storm. For dinner, I'm going to do just some roasted seafood and corn bake, like a crab boil bake, and then do some roasted salmon. Guys, so it is dinner time now. Well, it's not dinner time. We're getting ready for dinner time. It's 4:38 right now. So we're gonna go ahead and start. When I say we, me and my soon-to-be teenager that is the same height as me. Yeah. So what we're gonna do first is we're gonna make a little sweet treat. We went to Target yesterday. Was it yesterday? And of course, we always go in whatever the featured holiday section is. And it's the season of love coming up, V-Day. So we're just going to make this because we want to, and we like cake. So we're going to make this. I'm going to switch up, just make it taste a little bit more like a homemade cake. So yeah, so Diamond's going to make the cake. I'm just going to walk her through it, and then we'll start on dinner. What I wanted to tell you is I ended up and I changed my mind about doing all seafood. I am going to do the shrimp still, but I'm going to do like a hot honey shrimp, crispy hot honey shrimp, and I'm doing the same exact thing, but I'm doing it with chicken because my husband doesn't eat shrimp, so I'm doing a hot honey chicken. Yes. So same vegetables, roasted corn, roasted potatoes, and yeah. So I'm going to stop all this talking and we're going to get to cooking. Let's get started. Say it, Donna.
Let's get started.
That means we got to get started. we've got the cake in the oven, and we're doing like a little different thing this time because I'm not gonna add like ice in the cake like I usually do because my husband does not like a lot of icing. So I did it in a bunch. And what I did to make it, like I said, to make it taste a little bit more homemade, the key is that recipe, of course, is going to be a moist cake because it calls for 3 eggs, and 3 or more eggs is going to be moist. And then oil, it did call for oil, but I put Greek yogurt in it. Usually I'll do sour cream, but I've got plain Greek yogurt, so it's still the consistency of sour cream. Cash, knocking down stuff. So, yeah, no, be sweet boy. No. Anyway, so I'm gonna get to cooking. So the remaining of this video is just gonna be me cooking and less chatting. I've got 3 sticks of butter that I'm going to melt. Usually when I like to do seafood, I like my Kerrygold's butter, but I forgot to get some yesterday when we went to Target. And so it's no biggie. I am gonna get my husband to stop by and pick up some lemons, lemons and limes. I had 2 more limes left. The limes were, Michaela had been looking because like I said, my girls love making tea, hot tea, and they love lemons and limes. So if I don't use them up, they get used up within a couple of days. So I don't have any more of that, but he'll be getting off soon. And so that'll be just the finishing touches of it. And I have some lemon pepper anyway, but I'm gonna melt this butter and then I'm gonna fill it with all of my seasoning for my vegetables. And then of course I'm doing the hot honey shrimp, hot honey chicken. I've got 4 or 5 eggs right now boiling, 4 to go. Of course, once they're finished cooking, they will go into the mixture with the roasted vegetables once they're cooked. But yes, so let's get cooking.
One, two, three.